Hello, welcome. This is God of Wisdom, Dino, awakened with a new understanding. Okay, so I've been meaning to make this for some time. This is I would say, the audio version of me telling my story of divinity, of God, and the whole awakening process I went through to become more aware of what's going on in this world. Yeah. And let's begin. So, initially, to give some backstory, I don't want to go too much into my life, but I had a really difficult life. There would be circumstances that would constantly come upon my life. And I used to always tell the people close to me that I felt like there was a force on my life. Like bad things would just keep happening and keep happening. No matter how much I tried, no matter how much I put in the work, I just really couldn't escape it. I just felt it. And my friends around me would see negative things happening, and it would be really interesting to them. And they would just laugh it off and play because no one really knows what's going on, right? And that's a large portion of my life. Grew up in poverty, terrible. I wouldn't say terrible, but I would say dad in jail, mother not a wise individual, and just around a lot of negative elements. Okay, so moving on from that, the divine part of it. So it begins like this, right? I was around 320 pounds. And the reason I gained so much weight is because I was in a really depressed state for a large portion of my life. But where I really stopped caring is when I was around 21, because I went through a really tough breakup. And I really did not believe in love. I didn't believe in love and happiness. I thought that we lived in a terrible, dark world. And what people call happiness or love was just something they needed to cling to or believe so that they can go through a terrible world. It's kind of like, if you're in a house and it's burning down, right, and you can't get out of it, it's just like, just pretend it's not happening, But I couldn't just pretend. It was always so apparent for me to see the troubles of life, and how awful my life was, and the reason of why. Okay, so skipping towards that kind of background, I essentially was in a long-term relationship, and this happened around COVID time actually too, and we were living together. It was me, my roommate, and my girlfriend at the time. And I never believed in love, but she sparked something inside me that I didn't really know what it was. I knew it was good, but I wasn't sure. It was foreign to me, But I could say I really loved her, right? And to this point, I'm not really like, I love her, but to me, it's difficult for me to understand what's even going on in terms of like, do I really want her? Do I love her? It's hard for me to explain. But we just can't really communicate with each other. We're trying so hard to try to communicate, talk to each other, and have a positive relationship, but it's not working. And so we pretty much decide to kind of call it quits. Not entirely, but just space, possibly permanently, if we feel like it's what's best, And so we break up. She goes back to where she's from, and she moves out, and it's just me. And at first, I thought, it was a lot of fighting and stuff. So I thought I would feel somewhat better because she was gone, and then that interaction would no longer happen, just fighting constantly. But unfortunately, I felt something I never felt before. It was like something ripped out of my chest, out of my heart. It was heartbreak, and I've been quote unquote in love before, but this heartbreak was really it was really tough for me. It really hit me. It didn't hit me at first. I remember I was in bed watching a show, and all of a sudden I felt like something was ripped out of me, and that's when I really felt the effect of it. And it was really tough. And I'm still over 300 pounds at this point. So I reflect a lot. I reflect a lot on I need to do something. I need to lose this weight. That's the first step. I need to get in shape. And I start my weight loss journey. And eventually I get in shape. I lose over 100 pounds. I hit 210 pounds from like 310, so 310 or 315, something like that. So 100, a little bit over 100 pounds. And I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I'm focusing on myself. I'm focusing on harmony. I'm focusing on just getting better and working out. Okay. Now, once I hit this weight, nothing divine or weird or superstitious was happening at all, And then, and this is like pretty funny, but we go to Disneyland. My friend, he wants like a group of people to go to Disneyland. Okay, so we go, and he meets this girl here. This girl is very attractive. So he's a kind of person that can't control himself around an attractive girl. Like, he totally gives up all his self-respect, and just, it's all he could focus on, and so it really upset me. It really upset me because you made this trip and planned it, and you don't want to actually stay with the group, because he keeps leaving and going on rides and roaming around Disneyland with her and not staying with us. And that's not really a big deal to me, but he's doing it the entire time. And now he's trying to get us to go on rides that she wants to go on and not us. So it's semi-annoying. Like, I'm not upset at her, but it's like, if you made the plans and we're at Disneyland and people spent their money to come here, you should have the decency to be a leader and, be a cohesive group. And, even if you want to be with this girl, do it later, do it when we're like leaving, or, but don't mess up the trip for it. But I just couldn't understand. I was so upset. I could not understand how he could be so weak to his own desires. It really confused me, because it seemed like he was trying to stop himself, but he couldn't. And it really just bugged me. And so we got into like a fight, a huge kind of fight after Disneyland, and he cried and saying like he's trying, right? And it really just perplexed me. Like, how could you be trying, but it seems like you're not? Like, you may be internally trying, but your external output is not good at all. It doesn't seem like you are. It seems like you're just giving in. So, it really confused me. I really, and me and his relationship has always been kind of like back and forth static, because I'm constantly trying to tell him like wise, good things to do with his life so he can better his life. And he always like talks as if he wants to, but the actions and executions and things he do doesn't make sense to what he wants to do. Like, it's kind of like he's in a race, but he's going the opposite way instead of actually going the correct way. So that's somewhat weird to me. And, moving forward from that, where, it just perplexed me so much on how he just could not be in control of his desires. And that's what got me to question what's actually going on. What is the dynamic of his mind that allows him to have no control to sexual desire, essentially? Okay, that's part 1. Episode 2 will come out. Thank you guys. Peace.